Hello YouTube, welcome to Prepper News Weekly for Friday, September 15th, 2017. I'm Perrin Lovett, perrinlovett.me, and Freedom Prepper, and FPTV. It's been a pretty busy week. Hurricane Irma came into Florida on, I guess, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. Thankfully, it didn't do as much damage as it could have. It hit the southwestern part of the state, down below Naples, and then essentially skirted up the west coast. So while all major cities in Florida were affected, the damage wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been in Tampa or Miami. Or really anywhere. There is still a lot of damage. A lot of people are without power right now, and there are still a lot of people that can't go back to their homes. Some people, of course, don't even have homes to go back to. I've posted several articles this week about hurricane preparedness, and yesterday I even put up one about how one family in Florida actually rode the storm out, a family of preppers who were prepared, and it worked out very well for them. So it's educational and inspirational. You may not live where hurricanes will ever hit, but odds are something bad may happen someday, so it pays to be ready. Elsewhere in the news, more bad things. We haven't heard from ISIS much lately. There have been some solo, I guess you'd call them attacks here and there across Europe. Probably not related in any way to institutional terrorism, more likely just nut jobs acting out violently. Until early this morning, late last night, I'm not exactly sure, I just saw the story, but apparently some sort of gas bomb was detonated on a London subway train. It didn't have a lot of explosive power apparently, but it did released quite a large fireball that gave, I think, 22 people some fairly substantial burns. From the pictures I saw, it looked like first, maybe second-degree burns. Suspect, as of right now, that I'm aware of, is at large. And, of course, the Scotland Yard is treating this as an actual act of terrorism. Terrorism of a different sort here in America. You may or may not track the debt ceiling. That there's a law that says that only Congress can raise the amount of debt that the U.S. can incur. They've had it in place for decades, and they always hit the debt ceiling, and of course they always raise it. Now, in the old days, Republicans used to say that this was the last time, and we're only going to do it this once to get through, and then we're gonna get conservative and tamp down all the spending. They've completely abandoned that now. There's no pretense. Essentially, we're headed towards debt spending with no limits forever. A temporary spending measure was put in place this week, and it came with an increase in the debt ceiling as well. Instantaneously, the debt jumped over $300 billion in one day, in 1 second. How is this possible? Well, the government was up against the debt ceiling, so technically they couldn't borrow any more, they couldn't spend any more, and yet they had to keep all of their programs running. So the Treasury and the Budget Office, they have some accounting tricks they can do. These are things that would ruin your business, bankrupt you, put you in prison. They do them so they can actually incur off-books debt, and as soon as the debt limit is raised, it all sweeps in instantaneously, and we have a $300 billion increase, which is more than the debt was, say, back in 1970. It's going to go a lot higher, 20 billion and trillion and rising officially on books. And this is a good bipartisan effort. Everybody says they want the Democrats and Republicans to work together and get things done. Well, they're getting things done, and they are essentially spending us into oblivion and ruining your children and grandchildren's future. More bipartisan success. President Trump has decided to work with Democrats on the DACA, Delayed Action for Childhood Arrivals program. We've got about 800,000 foreign children, mostly Mexicans, in America who were brought here illegally. They're almost all now adults, and they're still here illegally. And rather than process them the legal way, which they would have to return to their home countries of origin and then apply, like everybody else, to come back in, we're going to work out a solution. It's called amnesty. It happened in 1986. And again, we were lied to in 1986. This is the last time this will ever happen. We're just doing it this one time. No more illegal aliens after 1986. And of course, the number of aliens tripled. And now we're back doing the exact same thing again. It is what it is. Now, they won't give you amnesty, say, for a short barrel shotgun or an unregistered machine gun, or if you hide some income from the IRS. But, different laws for different people. I've got some links down below, other things that happened this week. It's been interesting. I hope everybody stayed safe during the storm. There's Jose, I think, out in the Atlantic, which apparently is going to stay in the Atlantic. Hopefully this will be the end of the active hurricane season. We've got one more week until fall. I think fall comes in, autumn starts about 3 o'clock next Friday. So I'll be probably talking to you then about that. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.